Now, for weeks, we've been warning you about the deep state, Obama holdover government bureaucrats who are hell-bent on destroying this president, President Trump. Tonight, it's time for the Trump administration to begin to purge these saboteurs before it's too late. That's tonight's opening monologue. Let's go back to 1861. President Abraham Lincoln, he created, a team of rivals, a so-called team of rivals, a cabinet of rivals, including adversaries that he ran against in the Republican primary. But while President Lincoln sought to unify his party through cabinet selections, he also executed an extensive government purge. He fired over 75%, nearly 1,200 people out of 1,500 bureaucrats that worked in the executive branch who President Lincoln feared could be disloyal. It's time now for President Trump to follow Abraham Lincoln's example and fire anyone and everyone who is actively working against him in government. After all, even former President Bill Clinton, he utilized this tactic back in 1993. He fired all 93 U.S. attorneys, all of them. Now, according to Conservative Review's Daniel Horowitz, sacking imposing government employees is best utilized at the start of administration. He writes, quote, Clinton easily fired all 93 U.S. attorneys on day one. Nobody blinked an eye. Yet when Bush's attorney general fired 8 U.S. attorneys well into his second term, well, that became a national scandal. So it's very important for President Trump to act right now and not just avoid outrage from the left. That's not what this is about. Because he's got to end the leaks that are plaguing this administration. Major leaks, like the ones you see right there on your screen, started just 5 days after President Trump was sworn into office. The explosion of these leaks coincides with a New York Times report that says, in his final weeks in office, President Obama revised Executive Order 12333, which allows the widespread sharing of this raw data collected by American intelligence agencies across 17 government agencies. Now, that is an additional 16 agencies and their employees who, in the final 2 weeks when Obama was in office, who gained access to top-secret intelligence that they never had access to before. Now, we've been asking for weeks on this program, why did President Obama wait until the last minute to do this? And why didn't he apply this to himself for 8 years? Now, Congressman Duncan Hunter, he's expressing serious concern about what we see playing out. And take a look at what he said earlier today.
Overall, I think that they're dealing with seditious people within the Department of Justice, within the FBI, within the Department of Interior, within the CIA. There's people that don't approve of the Trump presidency, and I think that they're trying to take him down from the inside. That sounds kind of conspiratorial, but I think that's what Trump's looking at right now. I think you have people within the government, what you call the deep state, bureaucrats, Obama appointees that hate Donald Trump.
And Congressman Steve King, he tweeted the following: Donald Trump needs to purge leftists from the executive branch before disloyal, illegal, and treasonous acts sink us. Now, it's important that the president begin to hear this and act now. Now, for months, deep state antagonists, they've been working overtime to try and delegitimize Donald Trump's presidency, and we have seen how low they'll go by insinuating without any evidence that there's some sort of campaign collusion with Russia. There's no evidence. It's not true. And just days ago, WikiLeaks published some very disturbing information about the CIA. According to Julian Assange, CIA operatives are able to access televisions of American citizens, smartphones, other devices, and actually record sound, images, and even encrypted messages on your iPhone or your Android. And that's not all. WikiLeaks is also alleging that the CIA has the ability to utilize very sophisticated malware that can make it appear that cyber activity is being conducted by other nations when, in fact, they, meaning those within our government, may be responsible. Now, WikiLeaks, in their press release, specifically points out that they could be doing this in the case of this Russian narrative with no evidence. And by the way, did President Obama know about any of these sophisticated spy programs developed and used by the CIA? Now, we can't confirm that any of this is actually being practiced, but we need to start asking serious questions if we want privacy in this country. Now, back in January, you may remember, I traveled to London. I interviewed Julian Assange. He told me his source repeatedly was not the Russians. You may remember this. I've asked you before. I'll ask you again today. Did Russia give you this information or anybody associated with Russia?
Our source is not a state party. So the answer for our interactions is no.
And that's not all. Former British Ambassador Craig Murray, he told the Daily Mail that the 2016 Clinton campaign email hack, it actually came from within the Democratic Party, and that the hacked information was given to him in a public park at a university right here on American property. Can you believe that? All on behalf of the Democratic Party, their own whistleblower. Now, my message tonight is simple. Every holdover from the Obama administration, they need to go. And a thorough investigation of leakers needs to be conducted. And people who have committed felonies, violated the Espionage Act, like in the case of Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, they need to be prosecuted. And all of those who aren't actively working to fix the country need to be shown the door. It's hurting a lot of people.